Okumade ndisendile ezikatshe ndisende ezikaspika ke ngoku. Amen. Protocol, okay, yes.
Why is Ubrand, ukodioxin? Yeah, mamela manfowethu manizama ufona lapha no-Mr. Fifi, ne? We've got an ad name tags esifuna ukuziprinta ngongo.
Only 6 ufake no-DM.
Z6.
No secretary to parliament, secretary.
On board paper ndiyazapho ufuna ngo. Okay. Sure.
Uthumele both GM bonds.
Kanti kunjani? Man, kushapa nasis man
They are sorted, GM. I've already 5.
We have a briefing happening just now, ne?
Okay, let me go.
And now the problem is my name tag. So we wanted to print these name tags very
Parliament's presiding officers, led by the Speaker of the National Assembly, Ms. Toko Didiza, and the Chairperson of the National Council of Provinces, Ms. Refilwe Mthweni-Zibane, will hold a media briefing on Wednesday, 5 February at 12 p.m. on Parliament's state of readiness to host the 2025 State of the Nation address. For more information, visit www.parliament.com. Parliament's presiding officers, led by the Speaker of the National Assembly, Mr. Kotidiza, and the Chairperson of the National Council of Provinces, Ms. Zibani, will hold a media briefing on Wednesday, 5 February at 12 p.m. on Parliament's state of readiness to host the 2025 State of the Nation address. For more information, visit www.parliament.gov.za. Watch the media briefing live across Parliament's platforms and follow us on social media at Parliament of RSA and be part of the conversation using hashtag SONA 2025. Your Parliament,
address. This is the first State of the Nation address in this new term of Parliament, following the 2024 national and provincial elections. The State of the Nation address is an occasion for the President to set out the government's key policy objectives and deliverables for the year ahead. The State of the Nation address will take place at Cape Town City Hall at 7 p.m. Watch the State of the Nation address live across Parliament's platforms and follow Parliament on social media and join the conversation using hashtag SONA2025. Your Parliament, your voice, your future.
Afternoon, colleagues. Can all members of the media come close by? Members of Parliament, come close by. Right up on that, as we prepare for the briefing in the next few minutes.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. You are welcome. We need to start. Thank you very much. If possible, if somebody can close that door so that we don't have to contend with the noise from the
Recording in
passage.
progress.
Thank you very much. The presiding officers have called you today, the day before the State of the Nation address, to address you on the state of readiness to host the State of the Nation address tomorrow. You will be addressed by the Speaker of the National Assembly, by the Chairperson of the National Council of Provinces, and they are with also the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, as well as the Deputy Chairperson of the National Council of Provinces, and of course the Secretary to Parliament, all of them seated in front. So first you will be addressed by the Speaker, and thereafter the Chairperson of the National Council of Provinces. Then we will open for engagement, Q&A. So the presiding officers do not need any introduction. And firstly, I'm going to just to indicate that this is a hybrid media conference. We do have some of the colleagues, journalists who are joining from virtual platform. So in terms of engaging with you after the statements are presented, we will also take questions from them as well as here. I'm going to kindly invite the Speaker of the National Assembly, Mayor Tokodidiza, to present a statement. Thank you very much, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Motapo. I actually wanted to introduce myself because I thought what Motapo said, while it is acceptable, but not everybody may know who the presiding officers are. It's still new, so we learn as we grow. My name is Tokodidiza, the Speaker of the National Assembly. And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of the media. I'd like to recognize our Chairperson of the National Council of Provinces, our Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, our Deputy Chair of the NCOP, House Chairpersons who are here, Honorable Hadebe, the Secretary to Parliament, and the Secretary of the National Assembly and the Secretary of the NCOP, our stakeholders who are here, first and foremost being the media personnel, but also I know that there are other stakeholders who may not be from there. I've seen my friends from UNDP who are also here in this meeting this afternoon. We're pleased to address you, our esteemed members of the media and stakeholders present, on the state of readiness for the State of the Nation address, which is a crucial event on our national calendar as this parliament, but also as a nation. This occasion is the result of months of meticulous preparation and coordination, which underscores its significance in shaping the national discourse and setting the tone for the year ahead. In accordance with Section 42, subsection 5 of the Constitution, the President of the Republic of South Africa, President Cyril Ramaphosa, requested a joint sitting of the Houses of Parliament to actually address the House on the 6th of February, 2025. There will just be one item on the agenda tomorrow, which is the President's State of the Nation address. SONA allows the President as the head of state to speak to the nation and reflect on a wide range of matters of national importance, as well as outline the progress on the commitments made by the state. As such, SONA signifies the highest level of the state's accountability to the citizenry by providing updates on the government programs, developments in legislation and policies, profiling targets, and a program of action for the new financial year. I think it's important for us to indicate the difference between the opening of parliamentary address, which took place last year, July 2024, as well as SONA. OPA, as it is known, occurs once every 5 years after general elections to announce medium and long-term plans of government. While the State of the Nation address is an annual address that specifies short-term priorities and provide insights on the progress of the long-term targets. SONA 2025 will be hosted under the theme I quote, Harnessing Parliamentary Diplomacy for Realization of Global Solidarity, Equality, and Sustainability, close quote. This theme aligns with Parliament's hosting of the Parliamentary Speakers Summit from the group of 20 countries commonly known as the G20, which will take place this year. So the P20 will be hosted by the South African Parliament, which includes member parliaments of the G20, but also other multilateral organizations such as the Inter-Parliamentary Union, SADC Parliamentary Forum, as well as the Pan-African Parliaments and other bilateral countries with whom Parliament works. This summit, in our view, will provide an opportunity to deepen the call for solidarity among parliamentarians globally, but also to ensure that we address issues of equality and sustainability in our world. The theme is also a testament to the 7th Parliament's commitment to promote a transformed and inclusive society underscored by collaborative approaches to address global challenges, thus advancing shared prosperity. The 2025 SONA will be delivered here in Cape Town at the Cape Town City Hall. As of Monday, the 1st of February, 2025, the City Hall has been designated as the parliamentary precinct in line with Section 2 of the Powers, Privileges, and Immunities of Parliament and Provincial Legislature Act. A two-day debate following SONA will take place on the 11th and 12th, and President will respond on the 13th, and that debate will be held at the Dome, which is at Newvermast parking, where some of you have been able to engage with us in the last year where we had a marquee. SONA proceedings will retain a full ceremonial format, including a 21-gun salute, an aircraft fly past, a ceremonial guard, the singing of the national anthem, a full military band, and procession involving provincial speakers and premiers, the judiciary, the deputy president, and the president. We do note that has been requests that is already public that are known by yourselves as well, where there had been a request by some parties that maybe the defense need to relook as to how those ceremonial proceedings, in particular by the Defense Force, need to take into consideration the situation of our befallen soldiers in the DRC. That's the matter which were forwarded as Parliament to the Defense Force to reflect on it, as this is their responsibility. We do believe that yourselves as the media play a crucial role in a thriving democracy by ensuring that the public receives credible, factual, and unbiased information. For this reason, we are dedicated to making the media accreditation process for SONA as smooth as is possible. This year, we received about 1,076 accreditation applications from local and international media, reflecting a 9.68% increase from last year. Following a meticulous process, we have approved over 800 local and international media representatives to cover the event. Of this number of 800, At least 11 journalists selected in collaboration with the Press Gallery Association will be seated in the public gallery of the City Hall due to space constraint. The remaining members of the media will be accommodated in the media marquee, which will be outside of the City Hall, which will be fully equipped with Wi-Fi, television screens, live audio feeds, and workstation to enable seamless coverage and real-time reporting of the proceedings from the chamber. We urge all accredited media members to collect their passes early to avoid delays and ensure smooth reporting during the event. I'm aware that some of you already by tonight will be calling the presiding officers wanting to know a little bit of a detail. So your work has already commenced from now, actually, and going forward. Nearly 2,000 guests from various sectors of our society, from civil society, academia, traditional, religious, and cultural groups are expected to attend SONA. Public participation has always been a cornerstone of our State of the Nation address, and this tradition will continue. We also have dignitaries who will be in attendance, as it is always with SONA. Our former President of the Republic, our former Deputy President of the country, former Speakers of the National Assembly, former Chairpersons of the National Council of Provinces, and former Deputy Speakers of the National Assembly, and former Deputy Chairpersons of the NCOP, also the Executive Mayor of the City of Cape Town, Queen of the Bapeti Nation would also be in attendance, member of the European Union, and Chairpersons of the Delegation for Relations with South Africa. As part of fostering civic awareness and public engagement, SONA event will feature the Junior Guard of Honor comprising 100 learners from 4 Western Cape schools, selected in collaboration with the Western Cape Department of Education. The involvement of these young learners is crucial in educating and exposing them to the workings, roles, and functions of state institutions, helping to shape them as the leaders of tomorrow, and that's our hope. In addition, eminent persons from different provinces invited as guests of provincial legislatures will be in attendance. The event would also include a performance by the Wynberg Girls High School band alongside the official Parliament choir. Public engagement has been facilitated through various platforms leading up to SONA and will continue both during and after event. The chairperson of the National Council of Provinces would also make a statement reflecting on other issues with respect to our state of preparedness as Parliament.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I stand on the protocol established by the Speaker of the National Assembly. As the Speaker of the National Assembly alluded to, the State of the Nation Address is a significant event on the annual calendar of the state, serving as one of those rare occasions where representatives of all 3 spheres arms of state convene under one roof. One of the unique traditions of the State of the Nation Address is the ushering of the President into the chamber by an imbongi, which not only celebrates our rich cultural diversity, but also aligns with our long-standing traditions. In this regard, the proceedings of this SONA will once again include praise singing by Imbongi. This practice is managed through rotational language and provincial selection processes, which ensures inclusivity and the promotion of all our official languages. This custom not only adds cultural significance to the event, but also provides a platform to showcase grassroots talent on the pertinent
on the prominent national stage. We are pleased to announce that this year, isiXhosa praise singer, Miss Inago Mateza from the Eastern Cape has been selected to render the praise singing at the State of the Nation address. She is a 19-year-old award-winning Xhosa poet, cultural ambassador, and community activist renowned for her storytelling and leadership in youth empowerment. As Parliament, we have also partnered with Proudly South Africa to support local fashion industry by encouraging members of Parliament as well as guests to wear locally produced attires at SONA. The campaign we're embarking on is Wear Local at SONA, which aims to elevate the local fashion industry, calling on the nation's leaders to showcase South African design and manufactured fashion at the SONA. In preparation for SONA, the Parliament has also partnered with business from the agriculture, food and beverage to support the event. Some of these businesses represent the great success by our government in designating South Africa's products as geographical indicators, such as is in the case of the Karoo lamp and others. We extend our full gratitude and appreciation of all businesses and persons who continue to sponsor this event. We extend our sincere gratitude to the informal traders for their continued cooperation since the City Hall became the venue for the State of the Nation address. Whilst we acknowledge that events of this magnitude inevitably cause some inconveniences within the central business district, we also recognize the broader economic value that SONA brings to the city. As a key national event, SONA attracts local and international attention, stimulating economic activity through increased tourism, hospitality, and business opportunities. As with previous SONAs, alternatives arrangements have been made in collaboration with the City of Cape Town and the Informal Traders Association to ensure that all affected traders can continue operating at designated alternative venues. Following the State of the Nation address on the 6th of February, the National Assembly, as well as the National Council of Provinces, will then reconvene for a joint sitting on the 11th as well as the 12th to debate the President's address. This will also be followed by the President's reply to the debate on the 13th of February. Whilst the budget speech is set to be delivered by the Minister of Finance on the 19th of February. We also want to take this opportunity to encourage all South Africans to actively engage with SONA by tuning in and sharing their views across the various communication platforms provided by Parliament, the government, as well as the media. The SONA will be broadcast live across Parliament TV, mainstream broadcasters, and streaming services to ensure comprehensive access for all. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Speaker of the National Assembly. I thought, Madam Speaker, when you were introducing the presiding officers, you will tell them that they don't know your full names, that you are Angela Thokozile Didiza. And the chairperson of the NCOP is not only Refilo, but Maria Mtsweni-Tsipane. Let me also welcome House Chairperson Ryder from the NCOP. I'm advised honorable presiding officers, that the Imbongi that will be rendering the pressing tomorrow that you've just announced, Honorable Chair, is in the house. Maybe we can just get her to stand up so that she can be seen. A young 19-year-old. Yes. You are welcome. You can see that she's ready for tomorrow. Thank you very much. We are going to take questions, and the panel, under the guidance of the presiding officers, will respond. Let's start with the physical venue, and then we'll go to the virtual. I'm just going to allocate, I know your names, but I'm just going to allocate your numbers, and then you will state your name, as well as the media institution that you are representing. I'll start on this side. You'll be the first. And then let me take first round, and then you will follow that in accordance with that number. You will be the first, you will be the second. Who's the third? You will be the third. There's no any other hand. Okay. Maybe let's check from the virtual platform if there are any. Is there any indication of hands on the virtual platform, or the questions on the chat group? Nothing. Okay. So let's take those three in that order. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you, Mulato. Abongwe Kobokana from the SABC is my name. Just to contextualize things, because the president now will be delivering this.
Can you speak into the mic directly?
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Can you hear me now? Yeah. The president, for the first time, will be speaking under the government of the national unity. That will be the first time delivering his speech. And I think even yourself, there is the reflection of the GNU in terms of that arrangement, because before that, it used to be only two presiding officers. Are there any special arrangements to cater that reality of the government of national unity, or it's just that as the business as usual? That's number one. The first question relates to the issue of the military. I think the chief whip of the DA, Mr. George Malakas, was the one, firstly, who said he have requested you, Speaker, to actually downscale or to reduce the number of the military arrangement, not to be like in the past. And in the main was that to cater as give a respect to the fallen soldiers in the DRC. Bear with me if I didn't get you correct when you were saying that, but if you can give clarity in that regard. The last question is that in the past, during the SONA, we've seen a lot of disruptions that were happening there. And in terms of that, and are there any other special arrangements in terms of security and what will happen, or you will still be invoking the relevant rules in that regard? Thank you so much.
Thank you. 3 questions from the SABC.
Good morning, Moloto. Good morning, Speaker. My name is Kevin Brandt. I'm from ENCA. My question relates more to cost in terms of hosting the State of the Nation address this year. And if you can maybe just in terms of previous years or the previous year, at least say whether or not there was a cost, is a cost increase or it's less. And then also just with a formal banquet, if that will be included in this year's proceedings as well. I think at the specific stage, we didn't have that. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Gabriel Barbie of the SABC. I don't know if I caught it. I heard the speaker mentioning former presidents have been invited. Which former presidents have accepted the invitation?
All right. I think there was another hand. I don't know. You will be the fourth. Yeah.
Jan
Uh,
Gerber, News 24. Good afternoon. In relation to the donation of food and drink, did Parliament solicit these donations, and to what end? For what will it be used, the food and drink donations? And secondly, the dome, will it be ready for next week? Thank you.
Okay. Second take from Ibra.
Sorry, Jan's question just reminded me. In the last programming committee, there was a lot of discussion about alcohol and MPs arriving drunk, and it's going to set a bad impression for the rest of the country. What was the final decision on that one?
All right. So those are the questions from the fiscal veil. Okay, I see Braden as well. It's been provoked into adding.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Mine is not related to what's happening tomorrow or currently, but in a way it is, because I want to ask it this way. Where will next year's SONA take place? Where will it be held? Where will SONA 2026 take place?
Okay. Forward planning. That is Braden for you. Any other hand? Okay. Thank you very much, Presiding. There's another one. Okay.
Alice Edith Elizabeth Robus, Independent. Given the concerns with South Africa's relationship with Rwanda right now, and specifically the president's involvement in the back forth there, are there extra security concerns around President Ramaphosa for this SONA and his appearance?
I'm not sure if presiding officers were able to hear the question, but I did not. Can you repeat it and a little bit slower, and repeat your name as well? I didn't get it.
Alice Edith Elizabeth Robus, Independent. Given the increased tensions between South Africa and Rwanda, and President Ramaphosa's direct involvement in the diplomacy going on there, is there heightened security concern around President Ramaphosa's person for his public appearance this year at the SONA? And are there any additional arrangements being made for that?
Okay. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Robin Franke. I'm from IOL News. I would like to know, are there any parties that indicated they would not be attending SONA?
Okay. I think I will give to the presiding officers now to respond. I don't see any other hand. Thank you very much, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Mutapo. We will respond to the issues, and on the issue of the cost, the Secretary to Parliament will address those matters. To Abongile, the issues you're raising, as you say, you contextualize the decision on how, given the GNU, how will that be reflected in SONA? As you know, the State of the Nation address is delivered by the President. And in the debate, all parties, including those that are in the GNU, will actually participate. And as we understand is that government obviously have taken a decision in terms of what are the priorities this year. They've just had the Alehutla, and I'm sure in the debate that will be reflected by those ministers who will participate in the debate. So as to factoring it, I may not know what exactly you refer to, because the current system only allows the head of state to give SONA, and that's what he will do. In terms of scaling down, yes, the Democratic Alliance made a request through the chief whip of the DA. And we did respond formally, and that's why I had indicated that those matters that relate to ceremonial are actually a matter of the Defense Force. And you would appreciate that the president is the commander-in-chief of the defense. So in line with the protocols of the Defense Force, they will actually do what is necessary. However, as Parliament having received a request, we have informed the Defense Force as to the request from members of Parliament in terms of the descaling. And I'm sure they'll be able to respond to us on how they will deal with that request. In terms of the disruptions, we are guided by the joint rules that are there that regulate how, proceedings are supposed to be dealt with, and those are standing, and we will continue with those. With respect to the matters of the current issues that may be in the public media in respect of what might have been said or not said by the two heads of state from Rwanda and South Africa, and whether that has required any increase on the president's security, I do think that the issues of security nature of the president, deputy president, ministers or deputy ministers are a matter that are dealt with by the relevant security agents. Parliament will not be able to know what determinations are made when allocation of security is done by, the police, for instance, in terms of the VIPs that they are supposed to guard as per their mandate. On the issues whether there are parties that have indicated that they are not going to attend SONA, we have not received any of that. The matter about the National Programming Committee and the debate that was there about whether or not there is a dinner or there are beverages served, I would say parties did express their views, and those has been taken on consideration. And actually, the dinner is provided for the guest because, as you know, that most of the time, the guest of members and the guest of parliament would have arrived early, and at times when the SONA finishes a bit late, restaurants are closed, is really to cater for the guests to be able to have food in that regard. So members did appreciate, others did raise a concern that maybe when that happens, there shouldn't be certain kinds of beverages, even though those may be donated. We have given an assurance to members that State of the Nation address for both people who are in the hall, in the City Hall, and those that are outside. State of the Nation address will continue with no serving of any drinks or food until the end of SONA and adjournment, and people will eat the food and take the drinks, and they will depart.
No, on the issue of the dome, we can confirm that we've already received the dome as Parliament, but then it belongs to Public Works. And therefore, they are still busy working on the dome. It is our expectation that by next week, it should be ready for us to undertake the business of Parliament. But as you can see, work is underway, well underway. But as to when are they going to conclude their work, we cannot say it conclusively here. But our expectation is that next week we should be doing our business in that dome. Now, are we going to have SONA by where are we going to have SONA in 2026? It's actually challenging us, that question, to say we need to fast track the building, the rehab, what's what you call it, rebuilding process. People are yearning for their parliament. as we can see that in all honesty, work has already started in that regard. They've been working very hard across the clock. We can't wait to have our building back to normal because it's also inconveniencing us as parliaments. And we are hoping definitely that by 2026, probably it might not be beginning of Jan, maybe towards the end of 2026, we should be back to normal as parliament. So the progress that has been made thus far, we're very happy and we'll keep on monitoring the progress that has been made by the contractors. I think the speaker has touched quite extensively on the issue of beverages and food. Indeed, we can confirm those are sponsors, and there's a procedure in which we follow. When there's a SONA, members are expected to be seated at a particular time. And in between that, they are not allowed to go out so that we can manage and the proceedings very well. So it is quite rare to find a member going out and, you know, decide to indulge on alcohol and come back to the chamber. It's relatively impossible. However, we do take that into consideration, take measures to make sure that whosoever entitled to those beverages and food will then receive those after the proceedings shall have left the chamber. And in the main, we are encouraging the guests of members to be the first to be served. And if the food is finished, we can still go back to our houses and get something quickly in the freezer, warm it up, and we call it a day. So it's not about members per se, it's actually for the members of the community and those that are invited to come to attend the SONA. I think those are the two remaining questions. Okay, the issue of former presidents who will be in attendance. We can confirm that the likes, all of them are coming. The likes of former President Mbeki, he will be here. Former President Motlanthe, he is here with us, as well as former President Zuma, he will be in attendance. Not only them, the speaker has alluded that even the former deputy presidents, as well as the former speakers, former chairperson of National Council of Provinces. So they will be here in their numbers. And the last question in relation to the costs, whether they've increased this year or they've dropped, I will then request STP to attend to that question.
Thank you very much, Chairperson, Madam Speaker, and presiding officers. The SONA 2025, we always make budget provision for SONA. Last year, we budgeted for 6 million. We have equally budgeted for 6 million this year for provision of SONA. And as you would know, the delivery is at the City Hall, and thereafter debates and replies will be in the dome. So we're fairly confident that the provision we've made will be able to cover adequately the consideration for costs. And we do reconciliation after, and those issues are taken into account in a balanced manner. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Last round, any question? Okay, you'll be the first and then you'll be the second. It's the final round, so I'm not going to entertain any more hands after this. So it's the last opportunity. You'll be the third. Any other hand that I'm missing? Ketukutula. You are not a bona fide journalist. Okay, those are the three hands. Thank you very much in that order.
Good afternoon, POs. Latasha Naidu from Newsroom Africa. Last year, there was the implementation of new joint rules of parliament, particularly related to decorum and not interrupting the president. Are there any additional rules that will be implemented this year? And secondly, the MK party were meant to have what they called the real State of the Nation address today. They've now postponed it to the 11th on the date of the first debate that's going to be held between the two houses. Are you aware of that? And will there be a platform for the MK party to essentially present what they call, quote unquote, the real State of the Nation to the nation? Thank you.
Hand number 2, Madam.
Thank you again, Dan Moyani from ENCA. Just a quick context. When South Africa deployed troops to the Central African Republic in 2013, fighting against the Seleka rebels, we lost 13 soldiers. 13 South African men, brave soldiers, died in the Central African Republic. Now, in the Eastern DRC, we've lost 14 soldiers. It's the worst casualty that the SANDF has suffered in a foreign land in defense of peace. Their bodies are being repatriated today. You are having a SONA tomorrow. As Parliament, how are you planning to honor the brave soldiers whose remains are coming back home today? Besides maybe the traditional 1 minute of silence you might be planning to observe, if the Commander-in-Chief, when he starts speaking, allows for that. Parliament itself, as the house that approves budget for the Defense Force, money which is used for such deployments for peacekeeping, how are you planning, have you thought about it, to honor the brave soldiers who've died in the Eastern DRC just over a week ago?
Thank you. Last hand, the third one. Thank you.
Should I go ahead? Okay. Thank you very much, Arthur from Heart FM. Madam Speaker, you said that you have sent the request to the Department of Defense. I just want to find out, if you don't get a response by later today, does it mean that all the ceremonial activities will resume as per normal tomorrow, even if you get a response? If you don't get a response, I hope I understand my question. Thanks.
Thank you very much. I think those were the hand. Presiding officers.
Thank you very much. Firstly, I think it's important to appreciate that the matters at hand in respect of the mission in the DRC and what has happened, it's a matter that all of us as South Africans, include Parliament, we really feel for our soldiers, but also for their families and their beloved ones who have lost them. And we appreciate the role that they had played in terms of the peace mission as to why they are there. We do know indeed that the repatriation of those soldiers will happen today. The programming committee of both houses haven't actually discussed as to what will be the role of Parliament in honoring those soldiers. But on Monday, the National Assembly will be having a debate on the DRC at a request of 2 of its parties. And I think in that meeting, obviously, condolences will be paid by members, but also a deep reflection of where we are and what, is the state of play, and therefore what Parliament can do. Therefore, I can say at this stage, Parliament has not reflected on the form on how this will be undertaken, in honoring our befallen soldiers. With regards to the MK party, and having a press conference on the 11th. Let me just say it's not unusual that parties will have press conferences when they would want to express their view on one matter or the other. How they term it, whether it's the real SONA, I'm not sure. It's up to each party. You might have recalled that even in the past, even last year, on the opening of Parliament, when there was the formation of a progressive caucus, those parties met and they had a press conference. So it's not something unusual that parties at a given moment, it might be coinciding with a particular event taking place in Parliament. It may not be either, but it may be occasioned by what members or those parties feel requires them to express themselves publicly. So they will hold a press conference in that regard. Maybe on the matters of the rules, Chairperson, you can address it and respond.
No, thank you very much, Speaker. We can confirm that we've not changed anything thus far insofar as the joint rule is concerned. We are quite confident that as they are, they still serve the purpose and this discourse in which we find ourselves in. So those matters of disruptions are being taken care into our rules, and we are quite confident that the proceedings will run very smoothly, because it is very clear to us all as members what is the business of the day and how must we conduct ourselves. And if you act outside that, the rules are empowers the presiding officer to take the appropriate action. Now, the issue of the real state of the nation address, we don't know of. South Africa has only one president who is elected in accordance with the constitution, and accordingly, in accordance with the joint rules of parliament, he has since made his expression that he would love to address the nation, and we've since acceded to that. So in so far as we are concerned, it is only the president who will then do just that. I've indicated when I was addressing you earlier on, the proceedings thereafter, following him having delivered the State of the Nation address, all parties without exception, they will be given an opportunity to robustly engage and debate on the State of the Province address for full 2 days. And immediately after that, having had all the concerns or the applause that the president may be receiving, he will then respond back to the members. And after that, there are committees in place which will further take the priorities that the president may have laid down on that particular day and engage further with the respective department, just to make sure that there's accountability, there's checks and balance. So the processes are quite intense and very inclusive. So nothing will escape out of that. Now, to say the real state of the province, okay, the real state of the nation address, we don't know what they're talking about. There's only one, and South Africa are waiting to listen to their president as he addresses them. And we want to implore on them once again, let them listen, tune into their radios, media platforms. You know what is good about media people is that immediately after that, you take your turn. You intensively drill, interrogate what the president has been said. Throughout the weekend, we know that you will be analyzing from one end to the last end, to our likes, to our dislike, whatever the case might be. But you're doing your work, and therefore, there is democracy, there's transparency in this
Recording
country.
stopped.
Everyone has a right to freedom of speech. Thank you very much.
Thank you. On the issues of response, which you have asked, I am confident that you are going to get the response from the Defence Force, and we will advise accordingly the relevant parties who had made the request how the Defence Force would like to deal with the matter. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker, Medidiza, Chairperson of the NCOP, Mtsweni, Deputy Speaker, Mayor Lotriet, Deputy Chairperson, the Governor, House Chairpersons, Ntate Khadebe and Ntate Ryder, the Secretary to Parliament, Ntate George, the secretaries of both houses. Thank you very much. Thank you to our esteemed colleagues in the media and stakeholders. We value your presence every time we invite you. I also wish presiding officers to recognize the presence of the veteran journalist, author, as well as anti-apartheid activist, Dr. Zubeida Jaffa. I see she is accompanied by your nephew. Yes, you are welcome. Thank you very much. Just a few announcements as we are concluding that to encourage the members of the media whose names appear on the website of Parliament who are confirmed for accreditation, please to use this final day to collect all your accreditation so that tomorrow those who will be broadcasting live at the parade outside of the City Hall, you arrive on time. There will be officials from the Parliamentary Communication Services who will assist you with the access. We know that you arrive on time, but we also wish just to remind you to arrive on time. Sometimes you have struggles with traffic and road blockages and everything. So please prioritize and make sure that you arrive on time so that you start your broadcast in accordance with your schedules. The presiding officers this afternoon will be conducting a final inspection of the venue to ascertain to make sure that it's ready for tomorrow. Members of the media who wish to capture that, they will be with the ministers. You are welcome to do so. And tomorrow, there is what we call compulsory briefing on technical issues relating to the accredited journalist that will be conducted in the media marquee. It is not conducted by the presiding officers. They are looking at me with a concern because they've never heard about it.
I'm looking at you, Motapo, because I think that's where there'll be food and drinks for journalists.
Yes, no, that media marquee has got everything, so they know it. So just be mindful of that. It's normally taking place around 1 or 2 in the afternoon, just before the opening of the red carpet, so that we know how we are supposed to conduct ourselves and you've got all the necessary information. Thank you very much. Kevin, you want to raise we have closed. Yeah, the walkabout we will put that information in the WhatsApp group. Thank you very much. The media briefing is adjourned.